Picture this. She's sitting with you, maybe it's late at night, maybe she's had a rough day, and she starts talking, really talking, about her stress, her worries, the thing that's been eating at her. You listen, you nod, and then you do what feels natural. You offer a solution, you try to help. And something shifts. She goes quiet, the energy changes, the conversation ends sooner than you expected, and you're left wondering, what just happened? Here's what happened. You gave her exactly what you thought she wanted, but you missed what she was actually asking for. In that gap, that tiny moment where you tried to fix instead of something else, that's where attraction dies and friend begins. Most men will never understand this. They'll keep giving advice, keep being helpful, keep wondering why women open up but never get closer. You're about to understand something different. What she's really looking for when she shares her problems, why your instinct to help is the wrong move, and how to respond in a way that pulls her toward you instead of pushing her away. Now, before I go any further, let me be clear about something. This isn't about manipulation. This isn't about playing games or tricking her into feeling something she doesn't feel. This is about understanding what's actually happening in that moment, understanding what she needs that she can't put into words, understanding why your natural response, the one that feels helpful and caring, is actually working against you. Because here's the thing, most men aren't bad at this because they don't care. They're bad at this because no one ever explained what's really going on. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Everything changes. Let me show you what's actually happening when she opens up. Think about it from her side for a second. When a woman decides to share her problems with you, she's not doing it randomly. She's not just venting to whoever happens to be there. She's choosing you, and that choice means something. She's letting down a wall. She's showing you a part of herself that she doesn't show everyone. The stress, the worry, the things that keep her up at night. And in that moment, she's watching, not consciously, not like she's taking notes, but somewhere deeper, she's paying attention to how you handle it. Do you get uncomfortable? Do you try to rush past it? Do you immediately jump to, well, have you tried this? Most men do. Because most men are problem solvers. You see something broken, you want to fix it. That's how you're wired. And in almost every other situation, that's a strength. But not here. Here, when you jump into fix-it mode, something happens. She feels it. That moment where she was opening up, where she was letting you in, it closes. Not dramatically, not with anger. Just a quiet pulling back. And you're left wondering why the conversation suddenly felt different, why she seemed to lose interest, why thanks for listening sounded like the end instead of the beginning. Here's the deeper problem. Most men don't just miss this once, they miss it every single time, because they don't understand the psychology behind what she's really doing. So let me break this down for you. First, I'm going to explain why women share their problems in the first place, and it's not what you think. Then I'll show you exactly what she's testing when she opens up and the 3 things she's subconsciously evaluating about you. And finally, I'll give you the specific response that changes everything. The one that makes her feel something different. The one that separates the men she talks to from the men she wants. Stay with me through this, because what you're about to learn isn't taught anywhere. Equal sign, equal sign, equal sign. Sexism 4. The psychology of emotional sharing. Equal sign, equal sign, equal sign. Here's what you need to understand about women and emotional sharing. When a woman talks to you about her problems, she's not looking for a solution. In most cases, she already knows what she needs to do, or she'll figure it out on her own. The problem isn't actually the problem. What she's looking for is something else entirely. She's looking for emotional presence. She wants to know that you can be there with her in the feeling without needing to escape it, fix it, or make it go away. Think about what that means for a second. Most people, when they hear something painful or stressful, they get uncomfortable. Their instinct is to solve it, so the discomfort stops. That's human nature. But when you do that, when you rush to the solution, you're actually communicating something she doesn't want to hear. You're telling her that her feelings are a problem to be solved. And that's the opposite of what she needs. What she needs is for you to sit in it with her, to hear her without immediately trying to change it, to let her feel what she's feeling without making her wrong for feeling it. This is why women talk to each other about their problems differently than they talk to men. With their girlfriends, they get space. They get "that sounds so hard and I'm so sorry you're dealing with that." They get presence. With most men, they get "well, have you tried?" before they've even finished talking. And here's the thing most men miss completely. When a woman chooses to share her problems with you specifically, she's not treating you like a girlfriend. She's testing something different. She's seeing if you can give her what her girlfriends give her, but from a masculine place. From a place of strength, not just sympathy, because any friend can sympathize. But a man who can hold space, who can be present without losing himself, who can listen without needing to fix, that's rare. That's attractive. That's what makes her feel safe in a way that friendship never will. So when she opens up to you about her stress, her worries, her fears, she's not asking you to be her therapist. She's not asking you to solve her life. She's asking you one silent question. Can you handle me? Can you handle my emotions without running? Can you stay grounded when I'm not? Can you be the calm in my storm instead of another voice trying to make the storm stop? That's the real question behind every problem she shares with you, and most men fail it without ever knowing they were being asked. Equal sign, equal sign, equal sign, section 5, the test you're failing, equal sign, equal sign, equal sign. Let me be more specific about what this test looks like. When she opens up to you, there are 3 things she's subconsciously evaluating. She's not doing this consciously, she's not keeping score. But deep down, these 3 things determine whether she sees you as boyfriend material or just another nice guy she can talk to. The first thing she's evaluating is your emotional stability. Can you hear her stress without becoming stressed yourself? Can you hold her worry without absorbing it? When she's spinning, do you spin with her or do you stay grounded? Most men fail this immediately. They hear her problem and start problem solving because they feel the discomfort of her emotions and want to make it stop. But she reads that as weakness. Not because wanting to help is weak, but because needing to fix her feelings to feel okay yourself, that's not strength. The second thing she's evaluating is your ability to listen without agenda. Are you actually hearing her? Or are you just waiting for your turn to give advice? Are you present in this moment? Or are you already formulating your solution while she's still talking? Women can feel this. They know when you're truly listening versus when you're just waiting. And when she senses that you're not fully there, something closes. The intimacy she was offering disappears. The third thing she's evaluating is whether you see her as capable. This one surprises most men, but when you immediately jump to advice, you're implicitly saying she can't figure it out herself. You're positioning yourself as the one with answers she doesn't have. And while that might feel helpful, it actually creates distance. What she wants to feel is that you believe in her, that you trust her to handle her own life, that you're there to support her, not to rescue her. Here's why this matters so much. When you fail these 3 evaluations, something specific happens. She categorizes you, not as a bad person, not as someone she dislikes, but as safe, predictable, friend material, and once you're in that category, it's almost impossible to get out. This is the friend zone mechanism that no one talks about. It's not about being too nice, it's not about not making a move fast enough. It's about how you responded in those moments when she let you in. You showed her you couldn't handle her emotional world, and she quietly decided you weren't the one she wanted handling anything else. So what should you actually do instead? This next part is what changes everything. Equal sign, equal sign, equal sign, section 6. The response that changes everything. Equal sign, equal sign, equal sign. The response that works isn't complicated, but it requires you to fight every instinct you have. When she starts sharing her problems, your first job is to not solve anything. I know that sounds backward. I know your brain is screaming, but I can help. I can see the solution. Why wouldn't I share it? You need to ignore that voice, at least for now. Instead, here's what you do. First, you stay physically and emotionally present. Don't look at your phone. Don't start formulating responses in your head. Just be there. Make eye contact. Let her see that you're not going anywhere. Second, you reflect what she's feeling, not what she's saying. This is the key. Most men hear the words, "My boss is impossible," "My friend completely ignored me," "I'm so stressed about this deadline," and they respond to the words, "Have you talked to HR? Maybe she didn't see your message. Can you ask for an extension?" But the words aren't the point. The feeling is the point. So instead of responding to the content, respond to the emotion underneath it. That sounds exhausting. It makes sense you'd feel hurt by that. That's a lot to carry. Notice what these responses do. They don't fix anything. They don't offer solutions. They simply acknowledge what she's feeling. They tell her, "I see you, I hear you, and you're not crazy for feeling this way." This is emotional validation, And it's the rarest thing most women experience from men. Here's the third part, and this is where most men mess up even after they learn the first two. You wait. After you validate her emotion, you don't immediately jump to what's next. You let there be space. You let her feel heard. You might even let there be a moment of silence where she processes that someone actually got it. And then, only then, if she asks for your thoughts, you can offer them, not as here's what you should do, but as if it helps, here's one way to think about it. The difference is everything. When you respond this way, something happens that advice never creates. She feels safe with you, not safe like he won't hurt me, safe like he can handle me at my worst and still be steady. That's the feeling that creates attraction. That's the feeling that makes her think about you differently. That's what separates the men women confide in from the men women want. Now, I need to tell you something important. This isn't just about listening. If all you do is validate forever, you become her emotional support friend. That's not what we're building toward. What makes this powerful is the combination, the ability to hold space and the ability to lead, the ability to be present and the ability to move things forward when the moment is right. That's what we're going to talk about next, how you transition from the man who listens to the man who leads, without losing the connection you just created. Here's the part that separates good listeners from unforgettable men. Being able to hold space is powerful, but if that's all you do, you become a safe place she visits when she's struggling, not the man she builds something with. The transition from listener to leader isn't about stopping the emotional support, it's about adding something to it, and the timing matters more than most men realize. Here's how it works. After she's felt heard, after she's had that moment of being truly seen and validated, there's a window, a moment where she's no longer in the storm, she's calmer, she's present, she feels connected to you. That's when you can lead, not by solving her problem, but by gently shifting the energy, by introducing something new, by being the one who moves things forward. It might sound like this: I'm glad you told me that. Now, have you eaten anything today? Let's get out of here. Or this: that makes sense, and you're going to figure it out, but right now, let's take a walk. Fresh air helps. Or simply, come here, and you hold her without saying anything else. Do you see what's happening in these moments? You're not abandoning the emotional space. You're not dismissing what she shared. You're showing her that you can hold her feelings and take charge of what happens next. This is what women mean when they say they want a man who makes them feel safe and excited, someone who gets them and leads them, someone soft enough to listen and strong enough to move. Most men can only do one. They're either the soft listener who never takes charge, or the dominant personality who can't slow down for her emotional world. The man who can do both, that's who she doesn't forget. That's who she feels differently about. Here's the mindset that makes this work. You're not her therapist. You're not her problem solver. You're not her best friend. You're the man who can be her calm when she's spinning, and her direction when she's ready to move. That combination doesn't just create attraction, it creates trust. Deep trust, the kind that makes her feel like she could actually build something real with you. Now, there's one more thing you need to hear, and honestly, this might be the most important part. When a woman shares her problems with you, she's not just looking to be heard, she's looking to be led. I know that might sound controversial. I know some people will push back on it, but hear me out. A woman can get emotional support from anyone: her girlfriends, her mother, her therapist. The world is full of people who will listen to her and validate her feelings. But what she can't get from just anyone is the combination of emotional safety and masculine direction, the feeling that someone truly understands her and has the strength to take things somewhere. When you just listen, you're competing with everyone else who listens. When you listen and lead, you're in a category of your own. This is what women mean when they talk about wanting a man who gets it. A man who doesn't need to be told what to do. A man who can read the room, hold the space, and then move things forward without being asked. She doesn't want to manage you through her emotions, she wants to surrender into them, knowing you'll be there to catch her and carry things when she's done. That's not weakness on her part, that's trust. Deep feminine trust. The kind she only gives to a man who's proven he can handle it. So when she tells you her problems, she's not just venting. She's asking if you're that man. Are you? I want to hear from you. Have you been in this situation before? A woman opened up to you, shared something real, and you responded the way you thought you should, only to feel the energy shift, that quiet pulling back that left you confused? Or maybe you're in this situation right now. There's someone in your life who's starting to open up, and you're not sure how to handle it, what to say, what not to say, how to be there without losing the spark. Drop a comment below. Tell me what happened. Tell me what you're dealing with. I read every single one, and honestly, your stories help me understand what to make videos about next. This channel isn't just about understanding women, it's about becoming the kind of man women actually want. The man who doesn't just hear her words but feels what's underneath. The man who can hold space and take charge. The man who's grounded enough to be her calm and strong enough to be her direction. That's not something you're born with, it's something you build, and the fact that you watched this far tells me you're already building it. So keep going. The next time she opens up, you'll know what to do, and she'll feel the difference. Trust that.